Well, the attorney is in. It's Ask the Attorney Wednesday. David Gordon is joining us to answer your questions about car accidents and insurance. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How was traffic on the way in?
I didn't have any trouble, but I did stay off Sam Cooper.
Yeah, that's good advice for the next 18 months. All right, let's start with Regina in Raleigh. Her mother's hospital bill after a bad wreck was paid by Medicare. Now the insurance company is promising to repay Medicare and give her mother $5,000. Why does Medicare have to be repaid?
Well, Medicare does have to be reimbursed. Mm-hmm. That's a United States law, what we call a federal law. They do have to be reimbursed. But what's important for this person to know is that the insurance company seems to me to be taking advantage of the fact that her mother has Medicare. You see, the insurance company is responsible for the entire bill, not just the portion that Medicare paid. Medicare gets big discounts.
Sure.
If your bill is $5,000, Medicare probably won't pay $1,000. That's the big discounts. So if you're on Medicare and you have a claim, you really should consult a lawyer because the insurance companies are taking advantage of people.
Okay, so you're thinking she should get more money than the $5,000 she's getting?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Keith in Harbortown says, I just don't get the pain and suffering concept. He injured his shoulder in an accident last year and still can't do things like bowl or bow hunt. He says his shoulder doesn't hurt, but his life has been changed. How do I get paid for this?
Oh, it's a good question.
Yeah.
We think about pain and suffering. We think about physical pain and suffering. So he's saying my shoulder doesn't hurt, but I can't do what I used to do. Well, we have an important concept in Tennessee called loss of enjoyment of life. And it's just as important as pain and suffering.
Okay.
So he should be compensated for loss of enjoyment of life. It's significant in his case.
Okay. Is there a statute of limitations? He said last year, so when should he do something?
Well, he, just like anyone in an accident in Tennessee, you have 1 year from the date of the accident to settle your claim or file a lawsuit.
Gotcha. Okay. Elizabeth in South Haven was run off the road by a driver who hit her car, then fled the scene. She crashed into a ditch, broke 3 ribs. What can she do about it?
All right. This is a good example of how important it is to have uninsured motorist coverage. Yes. Because the driver's gone, the driver's that is responsible, her claim is against her own insurance company if she has uninsured motorist.
But if not, is she out of luck?
She doesn't have a claim.
Wow. Okay. Uninsured motorist coverage. Call today. Make sure you have it.
And it's not very expensive, Valerie.
Just a few dollars extra, isn't it?
It's much less than liability coverage.
Okay. Melvin in East Memphis, his wife was killed in a car accident back in August. They had been married 15 years, have 2 teenage children. How do we know what we should be paid for her loss? Well, that's a sad story. We're sorry.
It's very difficult to just say, oh, that's worth $500,000 or what.
How much is a life worth?
But here's how it's measured. Okay, we have what we call economic losses and non-economic losses. Economic losses would be how much money did she make?
Right.
How much money would she have contributed to the family over her lifetime? That's part of their loss. And then, of course, non-economic damage, that's going to be what's the loss of a mother's love? What's the loss of a mother's guidance?
Does the age of the children make a difference in that?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Because we're looking at that loss over the lifetime of the children. That's what we're looking at.
All right. So they probably need to call a lawyer.
Oh, absolutely. It's a difficult measurement.
All right. David E. Gordon, thank you for joining us. Good to see you this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you, Valerie.
And let's head over to the Weather Center right now, or we'll be right back.